and welcome back, and welcome to spring. Finally here, man. This one may be a little longer coming than most, but at the same time, well, frost out there this morning. A freeze warning in effect again. On the heels of that, a red flag warning because of dry and warm conditions. It's Kentucky, gotta love it. And you gotta hear your forecast as well. We'll talk about what's pending weather-wise in just a few moments, warnings and other details on tonight's program. Coverage of the McGoffin County Board of Education meeting from last week. Spring break, that was discussed, as was the school calendar, of course. Also, charges now being enforced and levied against parents or custodians who are not seeing that their child gets to class. We're talking about unlawful transaction with a minor. We'll see how it's working for the school system. And closing out the meeting was approving the name of the new spring sports complex, which will be officially dedicated tomorrow. Be glad to share that with you. And a whole lot of other news and information before we leave you, including, man, taking an icy dip in the Painesville Lake over the course of the weekend. Might not have been on your list of things to do, but for a lot of other folks, indeed, it was. Over the course of the weekend, I learned that the Kentucky State Police from Post 9 formally announced they're investigating a fatal collision that happened in Floyd County in the early morning hours of this past Thursday. This press release actually coming yesterday, saying that the initial investigation indicates that a 19-year-old, a teenager, Dakota Carroll of Pikeville, was traveling west on Kentucky 2030 in the town or community of Printer in Floyd County when Carroll lost control of her vehicle. State police reports indicate that it left the roadway, struck a fence, and then collided with another vehicle, a parked vehicle, mind you. Carroll was alive and transported to by EMS to the Pikeville Medical Center, but pronounced dead at that facility a short time later. The ongoing investigation is being conducted by Post 9 Reconstructionist Trooper Jonathan Dixon. Didn't happen around here, but I just so terrible to think about. A middle schooler from Virginia was killed in a bow and arrow incident over the course of the weekend on Saturday in Boone County, West Virginia. Mind you, state police have confirmed that a 15-year-old there and two other children, both juveniles, were all playing a game where they were dodging or trying to avoid arrows being fired from a compound bow. The 15-year-old who died was reportedly struck in the head by one of those said arrows. He's been identified as Caleb Fairchild, who was first transported to a medical center before being pronounced dead at that facility. I was so excited to hear. Oh, I couldn't think of anything I had. I've got a garage full of stuff, but I just don't think it's anything they're interested in. If you do, well, you might want to call a number 885-OLD-RUST, just like it sounds, and that should be a good indicator. Mike Wolf, Frank Fritz, I'm a fan of the show, have been since it's been on, try to catch it when I can, are coming to Kentucky and Indiana and elsewhere in this part of the nation. The American Pickers documentary series will be coming to explore Eastern Kentucky and elsewhere, the state of Kentucky at large. And they're asking, of course, for anyone who may have some of those rusty old antique items, whether it be bicycles, you know the list, you've seen the show, anything worth $1 that they think they can sell of any historical significance or otherwise, well, they love to do so. And they're looking for someone with a large cache of just those things for them to take a look at. 885-OLD-RUST is the number you can call. The McGoffin County Board of Education met in regular session this past Thursday. They discussed spring break, the school calendar, naming the spring sports complex, as I mentioned, as well as how they have been forced to deal with truancy and attendance in the McGoffin County school system. Early on, McGoffin County High School students Chelsea Cole and Emily Parson made a presentation to the board and superintendent on the Student Senate, a group of students who has representatives from 17 rural districts working to better their schools and their communities. Director of Finance Kevin Owens updated the board, saying that the Fund 1 budget, after being reviewed, was on target. And he also updated the board on the first draw on the New Market Tax Fund.
I want to report to you that we have received the first financial draw off of the New Market Tax Credit funding as a reimbursement back to our school district. We received that the first week of March, and as of late this afternoon, we have been received approval from the 3 lenders for the second draw, which will be just under $2.3 million. So that will take us back to, between the 2 draws, Once that one hits our bank, which should be early next week, probably Tuesday, that will put us back to $4.5 million back, being reimbursed back to the school district on construction projects of the gymnasium as well as the ball field over here. And so that's some pretty good news. We've still got a little bit of work to get done to get reimbursed the remainder that we've already spent. We had to keep our contractors paid up in order to keep them working, but we've gotten probably 75% of the reimbursement already back after we receive our funding next week.
Later, construction manager Bill Cobb updated the board on progress on the New County High School complex, saying that permanent air and heat had been established in the C and D areas, that they were polishing concrete floors. They were currently installing the casework in the science department. They've painted the cafeteria and lobby sections. They're painting the gym. The spray installation will be going on the 28th of this month, followed by the gym floor, bleachers, and basketball goals. Food service equipment goes in on May the 1st. The brick and masonry are nearly done, will be completed in about 2 weeks' time. They started laying sidewalks just this past week, and the gas situation, getting natural gas supplied to the school for heat, has been resolved after much delay. And tennis court lights also have seen a delay by AEP for several days, but they're still hopeful they will have them operational before the first high school game. Director of Pupil Personnel Brian Conley updated the board on school attendance, averaging for the school year 91.1% as of last Thursday. He also noted, however, that at the peak of the flu illness for the school system, it appears as though it had bottomed out at 77%, what he considered to be a catastrophic low number.
We are rebounding from that. We are currently, today, we were back up to about 89%. I have checked the facts with the clinics, checked the pediatric departments in every clinic in town to sort of equate the hysteria versus what actually is going on. And the flu is out there. There's a lot of flu out there, a lot of sickness. Some of the pediatric departments of these clinics saw as many as 20 positive flu cases a week. Sometimes they'd see a wave of 10 and 11 in a day. So we certainly had the flu out there and still have sickness that has taken place. So our attendance has been rebounding, but it's rebounding slowly. And so that's why I say coming full circle with this, we are fortunate to, as a district, to be at 91.1 right now.
And Conley also updated the Board of Education on progress in trying to get all students in school, sometimes having only success by going through the court system.
I had told you in the past that getting elementary students, or elementary families, I should say, not students, the guardians, into the court system was a curvy road. I want to give thanks tonight to our county attorney's office. They are making an effort to help our school system in dealing with the truancy issue. And we are now, I won't say that I'm happy that we are doing this. No one is happy in doing something like this, but we are now taking action that I'm hoping has a little teeth behind it. We are filing unlawful transactions with a minor on parents or guardians who are failing to send their kids to school on a regular basis. And it carries with it a misdemeanor charge. And we filed 3 of those in the last 2 weeks. So I want to thank our county attorney's office for being a part of these efforts. And what we're hoping to do in doing that, we certainly don't want to be a district that just likes to take down numbers on how many families or students that we put in court. We want to be a district that takes down the numbers of how many families and how many students we save. And so, but what we're hoping to do with these parents who we are making the decision to file on is to show them that, and this is about culture change again, that we're not just simply talking about when you don't send your child to school that it's a bad practice or that it's dropping the ball, but that it's a crime. It's a crime to not send your child to school.
And he later addressed the board on spring break and the school's calendar. At the beginning of the school year, the final day of classes was set to be May the 4th, with current snow and other days missed. That has pushed the date up to May the 31st. Spring break was, of course, set for the week of April the 4th through the 8th, Monday through Friday. After much discussion on graduation being on a Friday, also classes getting out before the Memorial Day holiday weekend, the Board of Education unanimously voted to keep 2 days of spring break on the calendar, those being Monday the 4th and Tuesday the 5th. 2 days for spring break, which will make it, of course, a 4-day weekend. And by putting those other 3 days of spring break back into the class schedule and on that calendar, school is now scheduled to get out on the 25th day of May. In other announcements, there's going to be a ribbon-cutting ceremony tomorrow, 5:30, before the first home game on the new spring sport complex, the baseball and softball field. And I've got more on that in just a few moments. But first, the board voted to surplus the 2 modular units on the grounds of the high school that have been used for classrooms since the March 2nd, 2012 tornado. They approved to bid out mowing services for North and South McGoffin Elementary, Sagersville Grade School, and the Harold Whitaker Middle School. And one of the last discussions centered around long consideration of the appropriate name to approve of the new spring sports complex.
Consider approving name for spring sports complex. We discussed this, or we thought we discussed it for a month, and we came up with Tim Bostic Memorial Sports Complex in honor of the late Tim Bostic. Which, we all know he's done a lot for our community, for our county, for the city. He originally started our first baseball program here. So. Good.
Powerful name, I believe. Oh, powerful name.
Known all across the Eastern Kentucky and the state.
This county did like that. He hauled and he shipped it all that.
Oh, yeah.
Motion approved.
Second.
A unanimous vote would follow. Adjournment would soon follow that. And I'll be back with more news after these words. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. We'll take a look at several people jumping into the frigid, icy waters of the Paintsville Lake over the course of the weekend, and tell you why in just a few moments. But for now, while I've got that report pending and rendering a little footage captured out front of my door very early this morning. My neighbor, Eric Howard, just across the way, came out to get his mail this morning. He couldn't. There was no mailbox left, thanks to whoever was in this vehicle. Now, the footage I'm showing you here doesn't show the actual theft. I've got that. I just didn't have it ready for air. But we wanted to get this on tonight in hopes of maybe finding someone who knows the description or knows who owns a vehicle matching this description. It's a small, light-colored, four-door passenger car. It has a spoiler, looks to be like a factory-type spoiler, or a small wing, if you will, but spoiler across the trunk of the vehicle, and you can see it when it goes away in a little better resolution. This shows the vehicle slowly casing out the residence, driving by, slowing down in front of it. There's a custom-made UK mailbox, highly desirable for mailboxes as far as that they go. And then the vehicle stops and spends several minutes trying to get the mailbox off. Not successful the first time. They came back a few moments later and were successful in taking the mailbox with them. Monetary value, I'm sure, is lost. Also frustrating for any owner to have anything taken by thieves in the middle of the night. So if this car looks familiar to you, or you may have seen a UK mailbox of sorts for sale or pawned or something of that nature to a friend or a neighbor, well, Mr. Howard would certainly like to have the details, and I'll certainly be able to bring you some further video on the next program. But this is what best shows as far as the vehicle is concerned, pulling up to the mailbox in its first attempt to take it right before the successful attempt took place. This happened once again on Dixie Avenue at 2:55 this morning. Time to get your calendar all typed up and on screen, so let me go through a few of the most pertinent announcements tonight on your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. First up, for all the retired teachers here in McGoffin County, the Retired Teachers Association meeting that was set for tomorrow. I've been told that it's been rescheduled for this Wednesday morning at 11, same time. They bumped it up one day at Betty's Pizza. So McGoffin County Retired Teachers Association, Wednesday of this week at 11 instead of Tuesday at Betty's Pizza. A huge yard sale, only 5 days. It starts tomorrow at the Open Door at the Catholic Church, 9 till 2, and this looks to be running from tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Yes, I'm checking my calendar, all the way through April the 1st, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, mind you. There's a gap, and then the 31st and 1st. I'll remind you. But starting tomorrow and for 3 days before the first break in the action, it will be a huge yard sale at the Open Door, 9 to 2. If you have any questions, you can call our friend Helen at 349-2012. Women's, kids, babies, clothes, toys, household items, and more. And always cheap and a really good deal. From our friends at Stinson United Baptist Church, they're having church services this Wednesday night through Saturday night, starting at 7 o'clock nightly. Communion and foot washing service will be Wednesday night, and also Easter service at 7 a.m. Sunday morning with breakfast served in the fellowship hall after service, followed by regular service at 11. Everyone is invited to come and worship with them. And the Dawkins Trail Youth and Family Bike and Walk Kickoff event is coming up soon. 1 week from today on May the 28th. Now, this is at the Bashir Trailhead across from the Meadows area. It's going to be 5:30 next Monday, and then every Monday thereafter through May the 23rd. Big bike giveaway. That's right. Some really nice bikes they give away. A $200 gift card from Pro Fitness, Fitbits and iPods, bike and walk apparel. All to be given away, and refreshments as well. That starts this coming Monday, 5:30. Might even try to get a few more details, maybe an interview with some of those folks between now and then. Just one other announcement on our community calendar. That's just a reminder how you can get announcements on the community calendar, and then funeral service announcements, then a break, and I'll be right back. Yep, super easy. Mail to P.O. Box 1443 in Tigersville. Email to yournewstoday@yahoo.com. Facebook at Ritter Mortimer. Phone is 349-3699. Our fax is 349-3221. And, by the way, remember, you can catch the show the next day, in case you missed it the first time, on our website at yournewstoday.com. Turning to funeral services, I'm told by the Sayersville Funeral Home that 73-year-old Ina Marshall of Sayersville passed away on today's date. Funeral arrangements are incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon by the Sayersville Funeral Home. Once again, the passing of 73-year-old Ina Marshall of Sayersville. The second annual, and for the second time, I am just simply and truly amazed at how far folks will go to support their cause. This time, the Johnson Central High School swim team. The second annual Penguin Plunge was this weekend at the Paintsville Lake. This time, the Johnson Central High School swim team. With the Floyd County Swift Water Rescue Team in place, with Scottish men in kilts, and a crowd eager to see everyone that's willing to take a dip, it was time for the second annual Penguin Plunge at the Paintsville Lake, where you found all of these folks willing to pay to jump in the icy, frigid, cold waters in support of the swim team. And while some who walked the plank, so to speak, seemed to look a little nervous or seemed like they were second-guessing their decision, some, like Mr. Ryan Peck, seemed to enjoy the idea and the challenge.
I think it's nice out today.
I said your skirt was blowing up. You're going to have a Maryland on.
It's not a skirt. You know bigger than that. It's a kilt. You wear the skirt, I wear the kilt. That's how it works.
So after hearing what Mr. Peck thought, I was anxious to hear what the swim team members thought.
They are thinking it's cold. They are not a fan of cold water. If the pool's off by 2 degrees cooler, we swim in the winter time. Swim is a winter sport, but and sometimes even the temperature outside affects the water temperature inside. They're my little thermometers. They tell me when it's cold. even though it may not be that much colder, they tell me when it's cold. So this is going to be an experience for them.
And an experience it was. I was told water temperatures were in the low to mid, at best, 40s. But it wasn't just an experience for those who were willing to take the plunge. The Floyd County Rescue Squad Swift Water Rescue Team uses this as a way to participate with something positive in the community, but also as some real-time training.
Well, of course, we're 58 years old, and actually the first rescue squad in the state of Kentucky. Actually, in 2007, was ranked number 3 in the nation as well. But we're known now for our swift water rescue training courses for the Commonwealth. Looks like we're going to be teaching Mississippi, Alabama, and Missouri this year as well that have taken on our program. But that's kind of our forte, search and then swift water flood rescue and so forth. Of course, we work the flat gap flood situation as well, and we wanted to come down here and help these guys out. We don't get to do too many fun things, and usually it's bad stuff. And this is good training for us.
And if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I bet I could do that. Hey, I'd like to do that. Hey, I'd like to trick or talk somebody else into doing that. Well, there's always going to be the next penguin plunge. But you might want to listen to what these guys have to say first.
Ben Spaggy.
Logan Puckett.
And you, how long have y'all been on the swim team?
3 years.
12.
What? Tell me what your thoughts were before the water versus what your thoughts are after coming out of the water.
Way colder than I thought it would be.
I didn't think I'd lose feeling.
Was it instantaneous?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So we were talking earlier. So you guys are really good at probably telling when your pools are a degree or two off, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about. Give me a little more information about this. What it actually felt like and the sensation when the second you hit the water.
Couldn't feel anything.
Went numb.
Went numb.
What? So you guys, I know this was for you guys to help raise some money for your program. Are you? How appreciative are you of other folks who were jumped in?
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice to see people come out to help our swim team.
That's one reason we're here. It started out to be the main reason, but we've seen that it was a good thing to get to be involved with other community organizations and to let the kids experience something that they normally wouldn't do. So it's the lake is quite a bit different from the pool at Johnson Central, and it's quite a bit colder, about 40 degrees colder than what we normally keep it. But I think it'd be a good experience for them.
And if it's an experience that you would like to feel or be a part of, well, there's always next year, and next year it all goes to benefit the Shoe Project, and that gives you plenty of time to get yourself psyched up or maybe come up with an excuse not to do it.
It's crazy of them jumping in this cold water for us.
And they paid to do it for you.
Yes.
And with that very inspiring, albeit very chilling report, a very short and semi-sweet Licking Valley RECC forecast. Keep in mind, freeze warning in effect from midnight to 9. I've got a newly adjusted low, though, however. Within the last hour, the National Weather Service, my update now has 37 degrees for tonight's nighttime low instead of that 31 staring at you. Under mostly clear skies, we will see west winds calming down over the course of the evening. And tomorrow, we should see 66, 67. Keep in mind, a red flag warning has been issued for tomorrow for winds and dry conditions and low relative humidity levels, but 66, 67 tomorrow, and then the 70s should roll in town by Wednesday. 71, 72 gusty winds will also make it a forest fire hazard day, I do believe, as well then. But that's the short of your forecast, with more to come tomorrow. And that's going to wrap it up for this Monday. I've still got news that I've been keeping on tap for a few days from last week, so indeed a full week, as is most always the case here on Your News Today. For now, enjoy the rest of your somewhat cool Monday evening. We'll talk about more warm air and more headlines when I see you back here next time. Thank you for watching.